Greetings, I am Peter. Welcome to Rising Mystics Masterclass. Since the pandemic, the Spirit led John Lewis to develop a daily session. It started as a gathering on Zoom to teach foundational principles of spirituality to a few. Within a week it had grown into an international interfaith gathering. We will be sharing excerpts from live teachings, healings, deliverance, and prophetic manifestations of spirit that's happening on Zoom Monday through Friday at 8:05 a.m. Pacific Standard Time USA. This is a free gathering. Welcome to this experience.
I guess you could just try a Astrology 101 book, or Astrology for Dummies or something like that. I'm sure that if you want to learn this and move on in studies, you'll discover that a lot of things you learn starting out are wrong. And it just kind of takes a growth and wisdom before you discover that, I don't see things like that person sees them anymore because I found this new information that kind of supersedes that. So, if you don't know anything about none of that, if you don't know anything about nothing, then I'd probably just, you'd probably learn quite a bit just Googling planetary aspect or what does this mean in this constellation. But if you really want to get down and study the science of it, you would need to get a book called Bullinger's Gospel in the Stars or something like that, where he goes through every star name, gives it its meaning, or Gospel in the Stars. And then there's the Mazzaroth book. John Lewis, I think you recommended a certain...
I would suggest that you start with watching the videos, studying the videos. The Mazzaroth, I have a series on them, The Science of the Heavens. Also, Shane has a series on them. If you study those, that is a very strong, basic foundation platform. So
yeah, I watched those.
Okay. Now, watching them and studying them is a little bit different.
Okay.
That's a big difference. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what you need to do is study them. Study them to the point till they get into your spirit, into your mind, because in those videos, I know in mine, I mentioned a lot of the ancient names of the stars. And so when you understand the names of these stars, the meanings of them, and what I always tell people, if you get that, if you understand it, I always encourage people to understand it first from the Christ, Messianic perspective. Understand that it is that the heavens are declaring about him. Okay, get that fixed in your spirit, in your mind, and stuff like that. And then you can move on to understanding how it affects you, how it affects the world, and other things. And as you start to move on, have you got my book, Triboscope?
Yeah, I've read Triboscope. I've read E.W. Bullinger's book.
Excellent. Well, see, you have a lot of the very basics there, but see, you can't just read it. You have to study it. You have to really study it. And so when you study it and it becomes a part of you, everything is going to start to click. It's like when the student is ready, the master will appear. Holy Spirit will just start to give you downloads and stuff. And I would also suggest all of you that are here that you study ancient, Egyptian and Greek mythology. And, because that's the basis for the planetary systems and what we have today. And as you understand what those different myths were about and what they represented, and when you see the planets in various aspects and conjuncts and stuff, then you will understand what is happening, what is going to happen. For example, who was Jupiter? What does Jupiter represent? And then you find out all those things. Who was Saturn? Chronos. What does all of that represent? And so now you're beginning to see their characteristics, and you will be able to translate that into events that can happen. Now, all of that's in Triboscope. If you really look and if you read it, I believe I even say there that book, I use Triboscope for my yearly prognostications and prophecy, and even with other things, because it is so much information that is in there, that can be applied on various levels. It's downloaded by the Spirit. So does that help?
Yeah, it helps.
Okay, I know what you want. You want to read something that's going to tell you, blah, 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 but it's not going to work like that. You won't really get it. What you end up getting is something like a horoscope type thing, And so, but if you really want the knowledge, it's going to require time studying, because the Mazzaroth itself and to get on the road to becoming a Magi or a student of the heavens and stuff, it requires a lot of time of studying. Is that not correct, Magi Shane?
It's a slow go when you're studying that stuff, because there's so many different ways to study it, and there's so, depending on what you're trying to figure out or what you're trying to discover, depends. It's one of the most, I'd say it's probably just as complex as the entire Bible, if you're trying to figure out what the heavens are saying, or in any regard or to life or existence. And of course, starting out with astrotheology is what I call E.W. Bullinger. That's astrotheology. That's fine. That's astrology. It's a branch of astrology that synchronizes biblical events and figures to the stars. And that is, I think, one of the first things people need to do is figure that out. Mm-hmm. And then as you continue to learn, even there's synodic charts and mathematics of these particular alignments that have a great deal to do with interpretive qualities. So, but I mean, it's so vast. I could say that if you email me, I got my email over there, I might be able to point you into a few directions that are a little bit more advanced, since you've already watched all the videos, and to help you out some there, Asher.
Are there any more questions? I'm going to be doing a series on the Codex of the Heavens coming up pretty soon, and with the Hebrew alphabet and some of the stuff that's in Triboscope, and just sharing various aspects of how, I think I've shared it on the website many times, of how I basically read the stars, which is more so from intuition and what Spirit is revealing. And as I said earlier, Shane has been encouraging me all throughout last year to really get into the science and to really spend time and take time with that. And I am going to do that more because I need that. And so, but yeah, so great. Does anyone else have a testimony? Not a testimony, but a question. It is nearly 8:30. And if I don't see any other hands, if I see some hands up that were already up, so if you don't have another question, please put your hand down, and that way I won't click on you and bring you out. Okay. Okay, does any, okay, I yet see Asher's hand is up. Do you yet have a question, Asher? No, okay. I see Gina's hand. Okay, it's gone down now. All right. So I guess there are no more questions. We want to thank you all for coming out tonight for the class. I'm glad that you received much, you learned much, and you're going to be able to listen to this. You'll have the notes that'll be sent out also within the next day or so, and so that you can go over everything, and you can contact Shane and go to his YouTube channel. A lot of good information there. If you can go to the YouTube channel, listen with a notepad, take notes. It's a lot of information. You're not going to be able to remember everything. And as you go over this, little by little, everything will start to click and it will come together, you know, and then you will be able to see. Then you ask the Holy Spirit, God, open up the heavens to me, you know, and he will begin to download and show you things. And all right. So is there anything else would you like to say, Shane, before we let you go?
No. No, just check out the YouTube if you have time, and check out John's videos and read John's book, Triboscope. It's real good. And other than that, just try to stay away from anything that might appear to be sinful, and or like, especially with there is a dark side to some of the stuff that I talked about tonight, and I would say just if you feel something pulling you away from God, just stay away from it, because sometimes knowledge could be like this little carrot hanging in front of us, and we want it really bad, and as we're chasing after it, we fall into a pit. So check your references, check people, and always be on guard to what everybody says. Even me, I mean, just be on guard. You know, sometimes it's better just to be a fool and have God than to have all the knowledge in the world and lose your soul. So just focus on Yeshua, keep God's commandments, and if it don't sound right, it's probably not right. You know, stay away from it. That's all I want to say.
That is excellent, Shane. Thank you for that warning. That is so good. That's why I suggested start with astrotheology. Deal with that. Get that down in your spirit. A good foundation. Christ, Messiah, and stuff. And if you have that in your spirit, the temptation to veer off into the black zodiac and the other things that are out there and stuff, you know, you won't fall over and be drawn away by those things out there because they can be very enticing. So thank you again, Shane, for coming, and bless you, bless your house, and for your time. I know it's late there, and we just appreciate you, and we'll have you on again sometime. And thank all of you that were here tonight. I talked to Dr. Patrick. He phoned I think last night or so. He's going to be back with us on, what is it, the 4th, I believe, of February. And so we're looking forward to getting to sound technology and all of that. And Buddy is still on. Buddy, do you have anything that you would like to say before we go? We just thank you for your presence and honor you. I'm trying to unmute you. If you want to say anything just before we move on, it's not okay. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I really enjoyed that. And if I'm going to say anything, I'm going to say it like this. I'm headed to Jamaica.
Oh, and you're not taking me this time again?
Well, you can. Hey, February is open, booked, you know, for the place that we stay. And so February, March, and April. I'll be back at the end of April.
Okay.
Y'all have a real interesting time.
All right. Bless you. Thank you. Have a good trip. Safe trip. All right. Good night, you all, and bless you. If you guys want to hang around or whatever, you can still hang around. You know, fellowship. Thank you, Shane. You're free to go if you want to go.
2 months. Here's 3 months.
I don't know how to count.
This is the second month. December is over. Anaya! We're in January. No, not.
Prophet Jeff Coach. Jeff Coach in the house. In the house.
Very powerful.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here tonight. Hello. I see that 77% of you that watch our videos are not yet subscribed to this channel. You need to subscribe today. Like the video below and hit the notification button to be notified when a new video comes out. We're going to be posting excerpts from our live Rising Mystics Masterclass. We do a day session we call Toilet Revelations from 8:05 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in the morning and we do a Monday night live 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time class every Monday night. If you would like to be a part of a live class, you can send an email to risingmystics@gmail.com. That's risingmystics@gmail.com. It's free. We'll see you there. Shalom.